AITA for telling my dad it's not my fault his family is broken and he should blame himself. I'm my dad's oldest child and his only child from his marriage to my mom. My mom was unable to have children after she had me and my dad always wanted more. So he cheated, and slept around, and eventually he and his current wife started an affair which came out when I was 12. She was 6 months pregnant when me and my mom learned the truth. She also had 3 kids already with a different guy. He thought everything would be perfect from day one. He expected me to love his new wife and the other kids and we would be a picture-perfect family. But I was pissed, not gonna lie, and I didn't accept his wife or her kids or my half-brother when he was born. Or for a long time after it. They would enforce family time and it always sucked. One day when I was 16 I told them I was there to see my dad not play families or go along with the charade anymore and we weren't a family and I didn't give a shit about any of them except my dad. I think I also might have told him that he was number 1 on my shit list, but maybe I said that after he pulled me aside. I stopped going to his house after that and there were no more attempts made at being a family. His wife's kids were super upset and extra pissed that I would dare deny them or not want to spend time with them. My dad and I have a rocky and mostly estranged relationship now. The last time we for real talked was 4 years ago when I graduated high school. But the other night he showed up and told me it was all my fault that everything was so broken. Because of what I said that day. He told me all he wanted was his family to be happy but I wouldn't let it happen. I refused to let him blame me. So I told him it was not my fault. I was a kid who was thrown into a shitty situation after having her family broken up. I told him it was his fault and he should think about that. He tried to argue so I said he was the cheating puss who thought he could get everything he wanted. I told him it was dumb to expect me to love the woman he cheated with day one and jump up and down because she had kids, and that things rarely, if ever, work out that way when you create a family through cheating and humiliating someone the way he humiliated my mom by bringing up her infertility. I finished by calling him a shitty person. AITA, did I go too far? NTA, your father sounds self-centered, and like one of those parents that piously tell themselves that they have a right to move on and find happiness, yet refuse to accept that they have no possible right to dictate how others feel. Your father wants you to go along with his game of happy families because if you do, he can pat himself on the back and tell himself that he did nothing wrong, that it has all worked out for the best. By not playing along with the idea that you love his affair partner and her brood, you make it harder for him to pretend that his selfishness did not hurt you. NTA, you didn't ask for the half or step siblings. He foisted them upon you and you absolutely do not have to be sorry for not caring about them. The steps at least are nothing to you. Your parents happen to be banging. That doesn't forge a bond. He's the asshole for trying to force his idea of family upon you after causing so much pain to you and your mom. You do you. Remove this from your conscience and move on if you are happy to do so. Your relationship with the half-siblings can pick up when they are old enough to see you independently, if both parties want that. NTA, he needs to take some personal responsibility if he wants a relationship with you. NTA, honesty, I like it. NTA, he's old enough to know the truth. NTA, dad sounds like a horrible person. There were so many other options for him to have taken instead of cheating. He should have felt lucky with you. Some people aren't even lucky to get one child in life. Honestly, he sounds so self-centered. Could he think you would even want to be in the same room as his mistress? That's not life works, and clearly he was only thinking of himself in this situation. NTA. Good on you for getting it off your chest. I wish I was that brave. You're definitely shitty for not telling us what he said in return, or if his head rotated 360 when he heard that. Lol, but seriously NTA, you have amazing backbone. Defo NTA. Anyone saying yesh and YTA are being way too harsh on Op. Remember, Op was only a kid when he told her, his step-siblings, she didn't love them as family or whatever. He was a kid who said how he saw the situation truthfully and bluntly. Maybe he could have done it a bit more gracefully, but honestly, why should he? Better to be straight and beat around the bush. And also, we can't judge it without taking into account 0P's mental health at that point. He was dealing with the repressed trauma of living with an arsehole dad who ran away with a random woman who he now has to call stepmom. Op is not tall, and honestly the way he told him to fuck off when he tried to pop up after all these years trying to say Op broke the family up should be commended. Op was brave for standing his ground and not allowing themselves to be emotionally blackmailed. NTA. It sounds like your father deserved everything that was said to him and then some. I am sorry, you have such a terrible father. NTA. He needed to hear that. I know it hurts to be tough with loved ones, but most of the time it's needed on situations like this. He was wrong to blame you for the way things turned out. He should have been an adult and done things the right way. NTA. Respect to you and her mom. NTA. He made his choices. NTA. Everything you said is exactly the way it was. NTA. Your dad is only trying to blame you because he doesn't want the reason his whole plan for this picturesque family fell apart is because of his terrible, selfish decisions. Ultimately, you don't need any other evidence that this is on your dad other than you were the adult. I was the child. By sheer age and maturity, you could not have created this scenario for yourself. You were forced into it, and he needs your happiness to feel justified for what he did to your mom. As long as all the kids like him, he can feel what he did to your mom wasn't that bad. Don't feed into the guilt. That's his weight to bear, not yours. NTA. If he was a real family man, he wouldn't have cheated and tried to smash you into a situation like that. He did this to himself. You are not out of line for telling him how you feel. NTA. He is still doing what you told him he's been doing. Only that he now tries to make you at fault for his shitty character and life decisions. NTA. I come from a very similar situation as yours. Except my father's side of the family was in on it. They enabled my father and kept the fact he had another family from my mom and me. Long story short, I went NC because they ultimately wanted to project one big happy blended family to save face. If I played along with their scheme, it's tantamount to saying I've accepted and I'm embracing the situation, and they come out looking squeaky clean. I suspect your father has similar motivations. Among others, it's not about family, it's about optics. NTA. It was harsh, but he came for that rant. You didn't deliver it to him unsolicited.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.